Greetings, I'm Armen, your guitar sound guide, and today I'm reviewing a true masterpiece of Russian pedal engineering, the Islander 3 by Dut Beardy from St. Petersburg. Let's go! Before we jump in, don't forget to hit like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos. Islander 3 got tons of features, so I decided to split this review into two parts. Today I'm running it through an amp, and soon I'll do a video on running it directly into an audio interface. First off, a little bit about Dut Beardy. This Russian manufacturer is all about making killer analog guitar preamps in pedal form with smart and handy digital controls. The idea is to get that warm, lively analog sound alongside with the flexibility and convenience of digital controls. The name Dut Beardy literally means dead bird, was coined in 2014, inspired by the cover of Beneath the Massacre EP. The spelling was altered intentionally to create a multi-layered pun, one of the meanings being that bearded guy, referring to John Petrucci, one of the main ambassadors of the Mesa Boogie Mark series amp tones. The name Islander refers to John Petrucci too, since he was born and lives on Long Island, while the preamp's creator is kind of Islander himself, having been born and raised for about 10 years on Vasilievsky Island in St. Petersburg. The Islander series is company's flagship and we'll get into its development history later, but for now let's check out the current revision T+. For recording I'm using a Two-Rock Studio signature amplifier. Head is connected to an attenuator made by Ilya Kamintsev and then going into a ref cabinet with a single 12-inch WGS ET90 speaker. The sound of the cab is captured by two microphones, a dynamic Sennheiser E906 and a Ribbon Soundtronics Delta 2, through SSL12 audio interface by Solid State Logic. I did a quick test between plugging the Islander into the amp's input versus the FX loop return, and the input side totally won out, so all sound examples are recorded that way. Next, let's talk controls. Huge props to the developer. Here with one foot switch and 4 encoder knobs you can do some seriously cool stuff. There are 5 channels in the preamp, but we'll focus on 4 today. Channel C1 is a clean sound like a Roland Jazz Chorus 120, which I'll cover later when we do the direct audio interface review. The other 4 channels split into 2 pairs. Channel C2 and R1 have a vintage bass heavy vibe like Mesa Boogie Mark II C+, and R2 and lead sound closer to the Mark IV with significantly less bass, great for baritones or 7-string guitars, and overall brighter, bit more modern and aggressive sound. C2 and R2 are almost clean, while R1 and lead are dirty channels. What's cool is, by controlling your guitar's volume and adding some overdrive pedals, you can get a wide range of tasty overdrive tones here, perfect for funk, jazz rock, fusion and more. Tone shaping time. To understand how to get desired tones, let's recall the front panel of the Mesa Boogie Mark II C+ amplifier. These controls are embedded into the pedal with fixed, so-called Metallica settings. And for making adjustments we have the following elements: a 5-band graphic EQ that's really well done, drive master presence knobs, which are pretty self-explanatory, and 4 voice switches. High and low add a noticeable emphasis on the respective frequency ranges, and the cleaner the channel, the more obvious the effect. Those easily can be used as adding bluesbreaker or tube screamer style circuits in front of Islander. Fat bumps the lower mids just a bit, awesome for sweetening the tone of naturally skinny sounding guitar. And finally, FN lets you reduce preamp supply voltage, inspired by Eddie Van Halen's classic trick of using a variac to lower voltage in his amps, which reduces the breakup threshold in the clean channels and adds a unique grit to the distortion of dirty channels. Now let's quickly go over the Islander preamp story. Back in the late 2017, the author of the circuit started experiments of creating overdrive pedal, and by accident it sounded a lot like a Mesa Boogie Mark III amplifier. That idea grew into the first Islander, which dropped in May 2018. It had two analog gain stages, analog 3-band EQ, plus two fixed boost options for volume and mids. For digital control, you got 24 presets, 8 electronic switches and a cool for its time MIDI mini jack socket. The first Islander ran until March 2020, when manufacturer decided to go fully digital control with a new interface and circuit board design, which took almost a year and a half to nail down. In April 2021, Islander 2 was announced and made its debut on stage in June. This version was a big step forward, featuring a fresh design, a clean channel inspired by the Roland JC120, better power supply, and triple layer circuit combining surface mount parts and film caps to preserve that analog vibe. The digital upgrades included a 32-bit processor for full control, 4 encoders, an LED screen, and a USB port for firmware updates. Then, by late 2023, Islander 3 hit the market. It upgraded the pre-gain EQ, widened the frequency range, pumped up the gain, and added a built-in analog speaker SIM with an effects loop and headphone out. The newest D Plus revision brought in an improved overdrive circuit with wider dynamic range and extra gain. To wrap it up, the Dut Beardy Islander 3 is a super smart, well-built preamp loaded with features and killer tones. Don't let the simple look fool you. Under those 4 knobs and 1 button is a really responsive sound engine and a sleek, layered control system with different button press lengths, an alt button, preset saving, and MIDI control possibilities. That's pretty space age. Some newbie stuff to watch out for. First, no bypass mode on the pedal itself, but you can fix it easily with a pedal board controller. Second, the preamp is super sensitive to your input signal, so you'll want to dial in tone settings for each guitar. But honestly, that's perfect for dialing in your best sound. Presets and MIDI make this easy to handle. For example, you could set up separate preset banks for a Strat, a Les Paul, and a 7-string guitar. With 4 presets in each, plenty to cover all the different tone shades. And third, if you're not familiar with Mesa Boogie Mark series amps, the tone control system might seem tricky at first, but this video should help to understand it. And for seasoned guitarists who know their Mark amps and MIDI controllers, Islander 3 is a real treasure. The sound is legit and the design and features are on the next level. You can track demos, rehearse quietly with headphones using the effects loop, or even turn almost any amplifier into Mesa Boogie Mark II C+ or Mark IV. Now isn't that magic? And here's a real-world application example. Buying a Mesa Boogie Mark IV amp today is a big deal, and hauling it to small gigs or practice sessions is a pain because it's big and heavy. With the Islander 3 combined, for example, with a Fractal VP4 and a MIDI controller, you get awesome tones, easy channel and effects switching, and a compact setup that's perfect for gigs and travel. And if you're wondering if the Islander 3 can replace a real Boogie amp, here's the answer. For the scenario just mentioned, definitely yes. But for studio recording, where 4x12 cab fills the room and you feel your amp slam you in the chest with palm-muted riffs, no, it can't fully replace that experience. I was seriously impressed by the Islander sound quality and rich functionality. Plus, you get much more than any other high-gain overdrive pedal in this price range can offer. I liked it so much that I'm making a whole series diving deep and comparing it to competitors. So hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss those videos. But believe that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Also, you can ask them at our Discord channel. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks to everyone who watched the episode till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!